following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
My name is Jasmine, and I am a recovering drug addict.
My name is Richie Farrell, aka the Old White Junkie.
And we are your hosts for Exit Team Nashua.
Our mission is to bring recovery into the living room.
Last year, over 72,000 Americans died of an accidental overdose.
That's almost 200 Americans every single day.
We will bring you guests with real-life experiences with addiction and recovery. Welcome to Exit Team Nashua. Hi, welcome to Exit Team Nashua. My name is Jasmine, and I am your host. Thank you for joining us. If you have not been following us the last couple weeks, this is not Bobby.
No, I'm not. I'm not Bobby.
Are you
surprisingly.
sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Sorry, Bobby. Much better looking than Bobby.
Yeah.
So this is the new co-host, the Exit Team. It is an honor and a privilege to be working on set with you, to be working in the trenches with you, to be working from the heart with you. It's amazing. When you come into recovery, they tell you I remember I used to hear people tell me, like, the highlight of our lives is going to be watching other people get well. And I'm like, yeah, right. That's BS. Like, really don't care about that. Selfish and self-centered. But I'm telling you, when you come into recovery and you get to watch people start getting their lives together, it is the coolest thing ever. And like, I have just watched you do a 180, right? And like, now we're just like walking side by side, and it's just so cool to be here with you. And I know who you are, and I love you to pieces, but let them know who you are.
So my name's Jessie. I'm a person in long-term recovery from IV heroin and cocaine use. I have been incarcerated and, suffered a personal loss along my journey to get well. And I now work for SOS Recovery Center, and I'm the recovery-friendly workplace coordinator. And I have gotten clean working a 12-step program. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And who's this beautiful lady?
This is my coworker, Miss Jenny.
So
She is, isn't she gorgeous?
I know. I love your eyebrows.
Thanks. She's got an even more beautiful soul, if you can believe it.
I know she has bright, shiny eyes. That's usually an indicator that someone's soul is beautiful.
Yeah.
It was, so my name's Jenny Santos. I am the Family Recovery Support Coordinator for SOS. I'm a person in long-term recovery at this point. My recovery date is 9/30/2017, and I was an IV heroin user and used other substances as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Welcome. So did you guys like work together every
sort
day?
Of. Yeah, I mean, she works in Rochester and I'm in Hampton and Dover, but when I first started at SOS, I was working in Rochester with Jenny on a daily basis, and it was great. Aww. She was amazing to get to like know her and have somebody that was like so kind and supportive and just like building me up.
I feel like I love her so much already.
She was like a game changer for me. Like, I'm not just saying that. And that was one of the reasons that I asked her to come here today, was because I really admire her. And she's like that, how I always tell you, what empowered women empower women. And Jenny is one of those women. So wow. Yeah, she really is.
She's really set the bar high for you here.
Okay. I try to remain humble. My ego really loves all of this right now. Working on humility. I am 12-step based, and currently sponsoring probably anywhere from 8 to 12 women.
Wow. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah.
I've been through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous once before. It was 7 years ago. Had what type of experience that I could have at that time. And then currently am meeting with my sponsor to review my 6th NA way.
Okay.
So had a amazing journey of self-discovery, and like
how enlightening.
Growth. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I just want to set the bar right now. Like, I just like genuinely love people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where that comes from because like I used for so long, and like I was so isolated that like and disconnected from reality and from like people like that. I didn't even like animals, you know?
Really?
Yes.
That's weird.
I still have a thing, you know, because I'm a female, like hair and drool and stuff. But like
Right.
I genuinely like animals, you know. I don't want anything to happen to them. But yeah, I'm just a new creation, you know, in life today. I on my way here was thinking about how much gratitude I have in my life today for everything, you know, especially my mom. Shout out to my mom.
Mom.
Yes. Huge supports. My family, try to shift it towards family too, because that's like the realm in my role at SOS. My mother is a person in recovery. She's got 15 years, and so is my dad. And so like I had a, you know, really rough childhood, and a lot of my substance abuse came into play because of a lot of trauma. And I literally think I was like hijacked. You know, my brain was literally hijacked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think people don't really understand that.
I know. I remember one time we were having a show here, and so we have a producer that's normally here, and so when this goes live and people send in questions, and our producer puts them up on the prompter, and someone was telling us like, well, like you have the power of choice, and I was like, well, actually, I'm a trauma survivor, and so studies show that I was actually never even in control of my own brain, so I was like predisposed to this, and like, you know what I mean? So yes, absolutely, like we by being trauma survivors, you know what I mean? Like our brain automatically goes into that survival mode.
Right, right. It's nice that I've, you know, given myself enough, you know, room and space between my substance use, you know, like I'm so far removed from using that, like, I can honestly wholeheartedly say that I feel that my mind and my emotions are, you know, operating correctly. And it probably took me about 9 months to feel that way. So it definitely wasn't easy. I had about probably like 12 years of like absolute suffering and like trying to get recovery, and had some lengths of recovery here or there, and I really did want it, you know. I'm going to tell you something. I think wholeheartedly that people just need love and support, and they need attention. They need undivided attention when it comes to this disease. And the really cool thing is, as a recovery advocate myself, like there's so many people in this world, you know, that operate normally. You know, there's no reason why, you know, we can't come together as a unit and like put our hands out and love on people, you know, until they love themselves. And like SOS did that for me. I'm going to tell you right now, because I was disconnected from my family. I had a lot of shame, guilt, remorse, and I had burnt those bridges, man. My mother shut the door on me. I wasn't welcome for family gatherings. I wasn't even welcome to see my son for like 3 years. And that was really the disconnection, I think, from my family is really what prompted me to change. It was just so painful.
Like the emotional pain from that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I was just so isolated. It was like such a dark place that, and I didn't quite understand or know how to like climb my way out of it, because I had buried myself. You know, my disease had buried me. You know, and I gave it another shot. You know, I was incarcerated again. You know, I had in and out of jail for, you know, a few years.
It's so hard.
Yeah, all
it's
drug
so
related.
Crazy, like all the guests on this show, especially because like this is really cool. Like we've met each other in passing before, you know what I mean? So like to hear your story, and like you're just like your energy is so kind and warm and inviting, and you're talking about being in and out of jail, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Dude, total shocker to people.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, you used to shoot heroin? I'm like, yeah, and I smoked crack. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror today and I'm just like,
Who was that person?
Yes, like
Yeah.
you used to do that, you know? It's crazy. But yeah, like I was incarcerated. I found myself in that position again, in that dark place again. And I was just really tired and broken, and something happened.
While you were incarcerated?
Yeah,
Okay.
like something happened to me. Like everything that I had learned from all these previous attempts at recovery had all kind of like settled into my soul. And like I started to understand that like it was my responsibility to dig myself out of this grave. And so I started doing that. I put my family on the side, and you know, I was released. Let me just tell you, this is just my story, but 9/30/2017, I was picked up on a warrant, and I have been sober ever since. I'm almost confident. I can almost confidently say that being incarcerated did not meet my needs as a, you know, help me to recover. Okay, it didn't. It only contributed to the insanity of my life, and it was a motivator, but there wasn't any, you know, real resources in there. So, but I knew that there was outside. SOS came in. They did an outreach, and I was like, "What is this new place?" And I got released into transitional living for women for the second time, and I immediately was enrolled in an intensive outpatient program with Avis Goodwin, of which that's who SOS's program underneath them, which is really just shout out to Avis Goodwin, Greater Seacoast. But yeah, like that program worked for me. I worked that program, and I got a sponsor. I got reconnected, and I stayed in the middle of recovery. The first place I went to was SOS when I got out, like that first week. The second place I went to was the courthouse to file for, you know, some parental rights back. I was kind of tired of that cycle too. And I felt that no matter what, and this ties into family too, I'm a firm believer that no matter what, that a parent should be entitled and should be able to see their child, whether it's supervised or not. That is so important. It's important to me. And you know what? Being away from my son is what almost killed me. Okay, so that's not helping. Yeah. Right? It's not helping the child.
You have that there. You had the maternal instinct, right?
I did.
That's really, that's beautiful. When I work with the women that have that, I'm like, this is so great. I always get more worried for the women that I'm working with that don't have that. And
Yes, my best friend said that to me once, and it stuck to me. She's like, I'd be more worried if you didn't.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I didn't have a family. Okay, I had a family. My family wasn't supportive at that time, and I had to like find a new family. Yeah, I really did, and I found that at SOS. And I didn't. My emotions were so everywhere. You know, early recovery. Woohoo! Here we go. I had no idea like what was going on inside of me. All these emotions and feelings that I just knew I didn't want to use anymore, and I knew that using wasn't going to help anything. And so like it's so funny because my director and some of my coworkers will say, like, you would not stop moving. I always had to be doing something for like the first 3 or 4 months.
That's good. 3 or 4 months. Yeah, people do that for years.
Oh man, I'm like cleaning. I'm like, can I help you do this? I'm gonna do that. I'm singing. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Singing.
When people like in early recovery are just bebopping all over the place, I'm like, I get it. No, you need something to do. Well, do this, do that.
Yes, but they provided me a safe place that I could be authentically where I was at, and they loved me where I was at, and like I needed that.
That's so important to feel safe to honor where you're at.
Yeah, I definitely needed that.
I feel like sometimes I don't honor where I'm at, and then I hit pain.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah. That happens.
That
happens.
I'm literally going through that. Like I'm like coming out of a funk of doing that. And I just like, you know, have like started talking to different women in my life because like things just aren't working for me. And then all of a sudden, like last weekend, I realized, oh, this is actually really where I'm at. But I've been trying to force myself to be this.
Controlled. And so it's a control issue. And something is unacceptable to me in my life. And it's so crazy how that projects outward too into our relationships and trying to dictate this person. It's that puppet master that they talk about in the big book. But and then we reach that point where we're like, oh, like I should just like let go of this and surrender. And as soon as you do, it's amazing that most cases than not, things start to harmonize and they go the way that you actually originally wanted them to go. Just like let go of it, you know?
Yeah, and just be.
Yeah, it's like Jim Wolfing. He said, putting a square peg into a round hole.
Mhm.
It's like that. It's like I'm trying to force you
Right.
to do something or be someone that you're not, and
Mhm.
that causes discomfort within me, and then I'm an a-hole to everybody else, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
And then you reach that pain, and you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta let go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm really good at like internalizing everything. Like
Mm.
the I'm not good enough, the self-defeating, which is just so annoying. Like it's so annoying when I'm like, that's like just stop already. You
Right.
know, but you have to have every experience you have to discover yourself on a deeper level.
Right. And you have to have people that come alongside you that can help you work through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do, because when I first came into recovery, like I hated myself.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I had to be
Sometimes
taught.
that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But we have a support system in our life that
Yep.
helps us. We've developed skills, and we can make amends, and we can, things like that. I didn't know like how to do those things. I needed people that did. I needed people that had different stages of recovery further along than I was, to accept me for who I was at that time, and then help me through all of that stuff. And being honest was like the biggest thing. Like, right, being honest about where I was at all times, and continuously doing that
Yeah.
on a daily basis.
I think that's really important too, because like we are in recovery, or like we are in like these certain things, for myself, I tend to get really prideful. And so like if I'm hitting this kind of pain, it's not that like I'm deliberately lying to people, it's that I'm staying so focused on other things that I'm avoiding.
Right.
Because I don't want to really honor like, hey, I'm struggling right now, or hey, I'm actually not comfortable with that, and I'm like a huge people pleaser. And so I'm like I'm just such a huge people pleaser. So like I'll dishonor my own truth all the time, and like I won't even like slow down enough to realize that I'm resentful about it, to like process it out. And so I'll just keep stuffing everything and stuffing everything and stuffing everything, and then I'm like, why am I so miserable?
Right.
Yeah.
And like also one of the ways that my disease will manifest is distraction. So one of my big coping skills is cleaning. I mean, I said that once before, but I've trained myself to, allow myself that space. Usually it's at night, taking that time to self-reflect. Working with other women really helps me to be held accountable, right? Because I can't expect someone else to do something that I'm not willing to do. And I take pride in that, but it all works for me. You know what I mean? Like, they'll send me gratitude lists, and I'm like, oh, and it's great, because then on my way over here, I'm like flooded with this just feeling of gratitude and love for like my life, I'm going to tell you that is not the way I came in here, so.
Yeah, I saw someone yesterday came to me that was in crisis, and oh my God, it was just so heartbreaking. She's so young, and just sobbing, and just the pain in her eyes, and it just really just brought me back. I saw myself in her so much. I don't think I've identified with somebody like that in a long time, or ever. Okay, I was just like, she is me, and it was just really hard. It really brought me back to like that state of remembering the hopelessness that I felt in that state, and it's so hard, because you want to just transmit that hope to her, and all we can do is try our best to show them love, and let them know that you'll be there and you won't give up. And
I think it's so great. I love it when I get really broken people and I can get on their level, right? Because like
Yes.
I'm like empathic, so I can have that ability to share that
Mhm.
emotion with you. So I can like be sitting with you and I'll be crying because I
my
hurt
God,
so
yeah.
bad.
Yes.
And I just feel like when you can build that like true, genuine like energy connection with someone, it's easier to help lift them out of it for them too. Like when
Yeah.
I've built that connection with people, like it's just so true and genuine. And I work in the field too. And so when I take time to do that with clients, like they can come to my office and like we have like there's like this peaceful, loving connection between the two of us. And like I don't know if they're okay, but like in that moment they're okay with me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things, I think, is when a person comes to you in crisis and having to be, a witness and then also a beacon of hope for them.
Right.
But that's a great skill, obviously, having a conversation with them, finding some way that you can relate with them so that it builds trust. And yeah, I mean, I have this one female who comes into our center often, and she tells me that I'm the only person in the world that loves her. Like, Jenny loves me so much. And every time she says it, like, I get so overwhelmed with just like, if I could just, and I'm going to get emotional now.
Good. Yeah.
Surprised you haven't yet.
I know. If I could just like, just be that for people, like, that's enough for me. It's just a moment. Like, I don't have to be attached to an outcome. I just have to be present for that person and help them to be as present, and maybe set a goal or something for that day. And if not, like, just make myself available to listen to them, and like, we're human beings, like how I treat my children is how we should all be treating each other. And I really try to go into my day and my life, especially my work, that way. I'm going to tell you, I don't always do this stuff perfectly, but one thing that I have gained in recovery is the fact that that I can do the best that I can with what I have. And when my head hits the pillow, I feel accomplished today. And like I did something, worth something for somebody else. And like, I don't need money. I just want to buy my mom a house.
Yeah.
So I kind of need money for that. But
if you envision it, it will come.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
It's God's will. If it's God's will,
You
it
can,
will
like,
be.
will that shit to happen.
Yeah, and those are the words that came right from my mother's mouth, just if it's God's will, it will be, Jen. And I never listened, I never really understood what she meant by that. But yeah, I'm no longer
I think
suffering.
you're the greatest.
Really?
She's the best.
I
She's
love
Stop.
you.
No, she hasn't even told you like half of it. So she runs sober parenting journey.
I
too.
do.
And I got trained in it. So I'm going to get to teach with her.
Yes.
What is it?
Okay, I'll pitch it. So
Yeah.
Sober Parenting Journey is a 14-week parenting program for people in recovery. It is trauma-informed, identifies strengths. We meet once a week for 5 to 7. You do have to schedule an intake with me. We'll have another one. We just launched one last night. I've had 26 graduates over the series of 4 classes.
We cook a meal together.
Yes, we do a meal. We have childcare. We provide transportation for that class. It's fun. It's fun.
You build relationships
people connect.
and connections.
Yes, it's
I
so
wanna
good.
Come work at SOS.
You should.
It's like, that is where I thrive. You know what I mean? Like, direct service is where I thrive. For whatever reason, my experience benefits others. All of the suffering that I endured, all of the experiences that I have in life, I'm an empath too. It's like, I can see myself in other people on a daily basis. And I really get to see that in this class, I get to know these people. I get to do follow-up phone calls with them on a weekly basis. I have do a shout out to Liz, another family coordinator of mine. We co-facilitate together. She's amazing.
We got to get her on the show too.
Yeah, amazing. She's so full of life and love and just does not quit on people. I'm telling you, she's fierce. So it's great to have a person like her by my side doing this work. But yeah, the cool thing is we take notes in this class on the participants, and they have an official graduation, and it's I cry every time because we write very intimate letters to each individual, and it's like a formal presentation for them. We give them a certificate. It is a program that is, as far as I know, credited by the courts in Stratford County. It's referred by DCYF and stuff like that. So come on and check it out if you want to meet with me. And
Who does your guys' outreach?
Oh, we all do outreach.
I need this information for my work, for all the mothers that come into my work that are from New Hampshire.
Okay.
If we could get that information.
Yeah,
If someone could
absolutely.
bring, yeah,
Jenny
that
will
would be,
connect you with that.
okay, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and if anybody out there is interested in this program, they can call me at SOS, which is 603-841-2350, extension 1 for Rochester. And if I'm not there, which isn't very often, you can leave a message for me. I'm the only Jenny that works for SOS. So,
Okay.
yep, or Liz, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
You are awesome.
Thanks.
Seriously, I love you. She's so great.
I know.
Thanks so much.
Your soul and just like your energy and just when you sat down, like, you know, when you like look into someone's eyes and like
Yeah.
you can like, and I was like, oh God, good energy. This is great.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I've been through some stuff, you know? So you see my eyes, but there's a lot of sadness too, you know? This disease can affect anyone and people, it just attacks and I didn't deserve that, you know? So I was Narcaned 7 times. And I have,
Got to get her in our story.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have, and here comes my pride, but like I have 2 years and 3 months of sobriety, free from all mood and mind altering substances. I'm a 100% supporter of all pathways to and of recovery. But that's what works for me. And like Narcan saves lives. You know what I mean? Like if that wasn't in place or, you know, harm reduction practices were in place, like I would not be here today to share my heart with the world and, you know, be a productive member of society and a humanitarian, you know, someone who like wholeheartedly, genuinely gives a crap about people. I want people to be more like that. That's my mission. That's my life more. That's my life mission. I'm telling you.
You inspired me to change what we're doing. We'll talk about this after the show.
Okay.
But yeah.
Thanks for having me.
It was
Seriously.
so fun.
I
And
knew
it
she
went
was
by
great.
so quick.
Yeah.
It did.
So quick. Camera 2. That's your camera.
Okay.
30 seconds. Someone that's struggling or suffering. What do you got to say to them?
Well, you're not alone. You don't have to be alone, and you don't have to do this alone. We love you. We need you. There's definitely a way out, and there's a lot of people, including myself, that would love to come alongside you and figure out what your pathway to recovery looks like. And I'm here for you, and that's it.
What's the contact number for you again for SOS?
It's 603-841-2350, extension 1.
I'm at extension 3.
I was going to say, how do we contact you? Can you repeat the number again?
603-841-2350.
Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't done so already, go onto Facebook, follow us on I Am a Heroin Addict, and give it a little like, and we will see you again next week. Thank you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.